Hey y'all, welcome back to Right at the Wire. Well, we've had a lot of developments with regards to Bob Baffert and Churchill Downs, and I've heard quite a few comments and a lot of differing perspectives on the matter. And since we do have a community here and y'all are members of it or prospective members, I thought I'd impart to you my perspective on this, and you can take it for however you'd like. And I'd certainly love to hear your own perspective with regards to this situation because I think it's really important as members of this community and horse racing in general, that we discuss it. We gather each other's insights and opinions about it because I think it's a really disappointing situation to say the least. Just to start, I'll give you a little backstory on this. In 2022, as you know, Medina Spirit won the Kentucky Derby. I had Mandaloun at 26-1. I also had finishes 2 through 6. So without Medina Spirit, I cashed all the exotics. Did it cost me a lot of money, Medina Spirit winning the race? Yes, it did. His Derby prep record didn't indicate to me that he could get the mile and a quarter, let alone do it from the front end and wire that field. So when he did do it, was I angry and frustrated? You bet I was. Did I say to myself, oh, Baffert's at it again? You bet I did. I had questions about Authentic winning it in 2020 for very, very similar reasons. I said, here we go again. So when they finally found him in violation with regards to Medina Spirit, did I say to myself, yeah, they finally got him and, cool, he's finally getting what he deserves? You bet I did. Did I feel some vindication? Yes, I did. Did I not feel right about feeling that vengeful? Yeah. It's a wasted emotion as far as it's a waste of time and revenge, in my opinion, but that's another story. So I'm just telling you that when I talk about this situation, that's the way I was feeling. And, I was kind of like good riddance, get rid of these guys, the rule breakers. And that's the way I felt. However, in this country, we're innocent until proven guilty. And once we're proven guilty, a sentence is prescribed, we do our time, and we go home. And that means anything from a traffic ticket all the way to murder. You do your time, you move on. If it's a traffic ticket, it's $50, you pay it. Maybe you get your license suspended or whatnot. You do your time, you move on. You get convicted for murder, you go away to jail after 25 to life, whatever the sentence is prescribed. You do your time, and maybe you get out, maybe you don't. I don't know. But the point is that the sentence is in granite. It can't be altered. We can't live in a society where, at the whims of people in authority, punishments are altered. It just it upsets the entire apple cart, and it just destroys any validity to a judicial system or any system for that matter. They're all based on fairness, and we have to expect that entities with authority are going to act fairly for the best interests of their entity, in this case horse racing, and the people over which they govern. So Bob Baffert did his time. He did his 2 years. He didn't have any violations in Kentucky, California, Florida, New York, anywhere. Regardless of that, he did his time. 2 years, no racing at Churchill Downs, and that's what he did. And so when they come back, and the reasoning they had was pretty much saying, we just don't like your attitude. We don't think you're contrite enough. So we're going to tack on some more time. Well, that's fairly arbitrary, and that's not terribly fair, in my opinion. Because if you do your time, the matter is closed, and you move on. That's the way it's supposed to work. So this smacks of, in my opinion, Churchill Downs has some major league jealousy and resentment towards Bob Baffert, and it's a damn petty thing to do. And it's the kind of thing we teach our children not to do. So to me, it's just really lowers the sport in my eyes, and in a lot of people who are just outside the sport looking in. How's this going to grow the sport? How is this going to get people attracted to horse racing? In my opinion, Now, Bob Baffert is a polarizing personality. Most people who are very have a passing interest in horse racing all know who he is. Why? The white hair, the sunglasses, the flamboyant personality, and the wildly successful record in the Triple Crown, and specifically the Kentucky Derby. So if they don't know anybody, they know Bob Baffert. Much like they didn't know anybody, they knew D. Wayne Lucas in the 80s and the 90s. He is the face of the sport in many ways. Is he without blemish? No. Have there been many times where I've questioned Bob Baffert's methods? Sure. Should you be doing so when you see a horse like Arabian Lion who wasn't doing terribly well, and then all of a sudden he gets back under Bob Baffert's care and he starts winning again? Can you question that? Can you wonder why that's happening? Does Baffert have that much of a Midas touch? Of course. It's human nature to do so. However, he was found in violation. He did his time. He moved on. Now, if you want to go back and say, well, yes, but he fought it in court. Well, he's not alone. There's plenty of horse trainers who battle any type of penalty like that. Linda Rice, I think, still has a case pending with regards to a violation from years ago. It's not uncommon for them to do that. And when you consider how inconsistent the rules are on medications amongst all the different thoroughbred breeding programs in the United States, and I've heard Graham Motion say how difficult it can be to ship horses because the rules are so different in so many different states. So a lot of times you can be guilty of a violation without trying to be. Now, I say all that not to say to exonerate Bob Baffert. I'm not here to talk about the validity of the violation, whether it was right or wrong or what have you. But the point of the matter is the man did his time. And that's all that matters in cases like this. And he did his time before he's been caught before, and he did his time then. The fact of the matter is, once you do your time, the matter is closed. That's what our society is based on, that type of fairness. So to me, that is the crux of the matter more than anything else. And I really think it's a black mark on horse racing that we are subjected to this type of action. There's been a lot of things like this. I'm sure it's not the last time, and I'm sure it's not the first time something has been, you've had an action like this based upon hubris or resentment or jealousy or whatnot. But the fact of the matter is, it's just plain wrong. And I don't see how anybody can find a way to justify it. You've got to look past your opinion of Bob Baffert as a person or as a horse trainer and see the injustice of all this. And so I leave you with that. That's my opinion on it. It's nothing more than that. I think it's just a question of fairness. And I just think the Churchill Downs really dropped the ball in this regard. So let me know what you think. I'm very interested to hear your viewpoint on this, whether you agree with me or not. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon. And until then, be well.